Hello guys and welcome back. My name is Kazım Moridi, and in this video I'm planning to get how to use SQLite databases in our Telegram bot. But before that we need to understand what exactly is databases and how we are going to use that. Databases are used in order to store data, a small data that we want to store. And in order to save the internet, save the data that we need to use, and speed up our interaction with the user, and doing some stuff that need to be saved data for a long period of time. We use databases. There are multiple databases such as remote databases like Mongo, which is saved data from in the cloud, but it takes some money in order to use that. And because we don't want to spend money, I'm going to use the Sqlite database in order to save the data locally. It doesn't take money at all. All you need to have a system and the ID. In order to do that, first I'm going to use a package called Sqlite3, which is a default package that is used by Python, which means that you do not need to install any other package that you want. All you need to do is type import Sqlite3, and after that that's all. That's all. It's finished. And in order to do that, first we're going to create a class called connection variable, and we must use Sqlite.connect to connect to that databases. I'm going to call database.db, database.db, and we're connect to that databases. It means that if we this thing create a file called database in here in our root folder, and we need to access a cursor. A cursor is a thing that do most of the stuff in our database, which means that we can create tables, we can do a lot of stuff by using cursor. So I'm going to create a variable, create a db query, okay, query. We need to write a comments to, sorry, we need to write comments for our package to understand how to create, how to set the database that we want. We need to type comment that you want. I want to create a table called users. It has an ID, which is an integer. Integer means a number, okay, which is a primary key, which means it's unique, and it would auto increment, which means that we do not to change this stuff, and this doesn't need to be inserted at all. And I'm going to remove this part because I want to write them myself. I'm going to create a first name for this part, which is a text, okay, sorry for typo, and the last name for, again, it is going to be text, and a phone number, okay, which is going to be again text. And this is a comment that I want to create a table called users in my database. It has an ID, a first name, a last name, and phone number. If I use cursor in order to execute this comment, in the uh, database I want, and after that I'm going to save these changes in the database and then close my database. If I run this comment and wait for it to finish, you'll see that another file has been created, which is same name as before I write this. So if I view this file, you can directly view this file in the PyCharm because it's automatically download and install a plugin called SQLite database tool and SQL, which is a helpful tool in order to view databases. If not, you can, if you are using VS Code, you need to install a plugin called, I think, SQLite Viewer, which has the same functionality as what I'm doing here. Okay, so there is no difference between both of them. So I create a database, which is super helpful, but our database are empty right now. If I open my databases and if I view my database, which means I have 3 columns: ID, first name, last name, and phone. But our database is empty. It's not empty. It's not really useful. We need to fill out our database. I'm going to press write some comments because we need to write some comments first, like what we have done here. We need to write a comment in order to save our data. So I'm going to call insert query. Okay, query, which I'm going to again type 3 quotation mark, and I'm going to type insert to the user. It seems that it had written okay, first and last name, phone numbers is correct. Values, I'm going to change its values because value needs to be question mark because we are going to insert database ourselves, some sample data. So I'm going to add 3 question marks, which means that it's represent each one of these things. After that, I'm going to write some data. I hope that the AI helped me to do that. Okay, it seems that it had done help. John do okay, so it creates some sample data for me. I'm going to insert this one, but because we have closed our connection, we need to open this connection again. So I'm going to use a command called use with in order to open the database. So I'm going to use with because with can help us to open database, and after we done our work, which means after we reach this step, even if we encourage any problem, any errors, it would automatically close these connections without doing anything manually. So I'm going to use this connection over here, and we're going to connect to this connection. I use the cursor of it and execute many. Because we have many data over here, we need to write execute many and use this insert query and sample data if want. And I'm going to close this connection as well, so we can done easily. So if I type run and wait for it, it seems that cannot operate on a closed database. Let me after I remove that close, it seems that the error was gone. And if I go again to the user table, do you see that we have so many names, so many last names, so many phone numbers because we have run this part two times. One of them because there was an error because I closed the databases before and it encouraged some problem for me. So after that I run it again. You see that we have lots of name ourselves, and we can actually get our database names. So how can we do that? It's super easy as well. Let's go ahead. First I'm going to comment this code because I do not want to insert this code again, and I'm going to use with again with Sqlite 3.connect. I hope that it automatically okay. Same that it had done it. Okay, it seems that you understand my intention. I'm going to get all data from the users and use cursor to fetch all in order to fetch all the data that I want. And after that, for each one of them in the row, it would print in the row. So if I run this code, you'll see that um, each one of the users that I have saved in the databases had been printed over here. So we have achieved our goal. We have saved the data in our databases and get all the data that we want from databases with a very super fast method. And we can do a lot of more things about that in their Telegram package. We can achieve a lot of amazing stuff. But I think that's enough for now. I'm going to talk about how to use that in the next video. Thanks for watching. Having happy coding.